I'm Andrew from the attachment company, and today's job is this. This QuickAttach skid steer broom for a Bobcat MT is in for repair. So I don't know how well you can see, but they've caught the edge of this when he's been using it. He's caught this on a post. As you can see, it's bent in a bit. So I don't know the extent of the damage. It's hard to kind of see, and to be honest, I don't have a lot of experience with these brooms, but that being said, it's leaking when they use it, so we can pull this off. The frame is definitely bent. I don't know if there's going to be any damage to the actual drum that's on here. It looks like there might be, or that could be, that's probably normal. But anyway, we'll get that pulled off. See, these outside frames are quite light, obviously, because they're not really doing anything. They're just for some light protection. And this is just for a mini skid, but this could do with some protection. Now that I see it here, no matter what you do to protect it, it's still going to bend this frame. So anyway, we'll get these nuts off. I think first take some plates off and see if it's just a matter of replacing this motor here, but I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as that. But we'll make some space up in here and get it looked at and see what we can do. This is actually for Beaver Builders, who is next door to us, or 2 doors down in our little space here. So we'll see how quickly we can get the parts that we need and get this back to him. So we've got the hydraulic motor off, and as you can see, the shaft is broke inside this sort of hexagon. There should be a key that I don't know if that's in there or not, but obviously that is no good. I'm trying to figure, I've got a parts breakdown, so we'll see. We'll get a price on the motor itself, and we'll see if we're able to straighten this up, because as you can see the bends, I think that's going to cause an issue. This is all part of this frame, so we probably don't want to be replacing that whole thing. This is just a cover, so we can straighten that out. That's somehow bent on the top, which doesn't really make any sense. I think that's a separate issue. There's maybe been sitting something on top, but that's not the end of the world. It'll wear these bristles away a bit faster, but I'm concerned about these parts where the motor mounts. I mean, they're pretty thin, so if we can heat them up, we can probably straighten them out. We'll get these side plates off and see if we get a better look at it. So we're back on the broom. We've got the new Danfoss hydraulic motor in. That will be getting in here just in a second. We've got the frame not perfect, but I think close enough to straight, so that when the only thing might be getting this all lined up properly, but I'm hoping it's close enough that we can get it on there, and when we tighten everything down, it'll sort of square up any little bit that's off, because this is pretty thin plate. So we've got that. I'm just about to get a parts diagram to make sure we're putting it back correctly, but we should. Oh, and we still need to take the shaft out of this and pull this retaining clip off, and go and pick up a new one of those that I've got ordered, so we can do that. And then I'm honestly not sure what the best sort of procedure is for putting this back together. It might be a bit of trial and error because I've never done it before, but I'm sure there's a procedure of what goes on first that makes it quite simple, but we'll get it figured out. And then the only other thing will be to take these hoses off and swap them over to the new motor and then test it out. So we'll get on that, try and get this put back together so we can get it back and working. So we've got the Broom mostly back together. We've replaced obviously the motor like I was showing you and sort of straightened the frame. So we've got the hoses and everything connected. I'm just going to bring over our machine to plug it in and give it a bit of a test to make sure there's no leaks or no problems, but there shouldn't be. Then we can put the guards and everything back on it and get it back to the customer. So let's get the machine over. I'm just trying to clean up most of the oil that's been hanging, that's been lying on it, so that we can see if there's any leaks. But let's bring the machine over and get it tested. These hoses on and see. I need to move a bit closer. Doesn't look to be any problems so far. Can't really see it, but that's not very much oil flow. Got the machine turned right down, but doesn't look like there's any leaks. This is all old stuff. And there's nothing. It spins pretty well. There's nothing hitting anywhere on the frame, which is the main thing. And I think that noise is mostly just there's some play in how these bristles attach, but I would say that's nothing unusual. I'll fire it up again here and make sure, but I would say we're all right. mean, that is quite slow, but it's a bit faster now. It only goes in the one direction because of that valve, so it's made to go. But now that I think about it, we might have it backwards. Because that's not... That's gonna... Yeah, we've got the hoses backwards, I think. It doesn't go that way. Now that I'm thinking about it, we don't want it going that way. We want it to sweep out from the machine. This would be bringing stuff in. Which... yeah. It's not the end of the world. We can switch them round up here, and that would solve that problem. Yeah, I think we've just got them on the wrong way. These hoses are quite short. I'm going to make another bit of a mess changing it over. This valve only lets flow go one direction, so we just need to change these so that it spins the other way, I think. Get that done now. I figured this was going to happen. Couldn't remember which way they came off. Let's see how much oil we can try and lose here. The answer is going to be a lot, I can tell you. Shouldn't be any pressure on them now. Let's see. Get this one off, and then these hoses do run short, and I guess they could come over the side of this frame. I can't remember what those guards look like when they go back on. I think I can say that that's worked all right. Think so, no leaks. The drum seems to spin all right. I think we can get the guards back put on, and I think that'll be us done. So set it back down on this pallet, and then get the guards put back on. Try and remember how that goes, and then tell them to come pick it up. I think they've sat something on top of this, so we'll try and pull that out a bit.